everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Katie, and on this channel I seek to empower, educate and promote well-being. So I encourage you to please subscribe, please click on the notification bell, and also please make comments that will help empower others, educate and inform others as well. Thank you as you do so. So basically I'm a medical doctor. I live out here in Australia. So in this video, I really wanted to address some wrong reasons for going to medical school. And it's a video that I'm hoping someone who's aspiring to be a doctor, even before their application and going into the process, will come across and consider all these points that I've made, and it will cause them to really consider the decision that they're about to make, to commit their many years of studying and their devotion to medicine when they're really going into it for the wrong reasons. So I hope that helps somebody, and it allows you to make the right decision. So the very obvious one: do not go to medical school because your parents tell you that you have to be a doctor. It's very obvious, but how countless are the medics who have devoted years of studying, hard work, training, because it was something that their parents wanted to do. Their parents are wanting to live that failed career that they had through them being able to go into being a medical doctor, and all that results from that is frustration, being very resentful of the profession, and not really wanting to put in the work because that was never really for you. So please do not go to medical school because your parents told you to do so. The second reason for not going to medical school is if you want to make money quick. If you want to be wealthy or rich quickly. That just does not happen. It's not true. Please watch my other videos about the doctors are poor video to get a more understanding about the reason why it's not necessarily true that doctors are rich, and certainly not if you want to make money quickly. Then it's not the profession for you. Also, if you're not good at obeying rules and regulations and instructions and guidelines, if you want to do things your own way, if you want to make your own rule, you're always someone who has been able to devise your own way of doing something. You've been autonomous at doing most things in your life, and you want, even when you're young, you will know if you have a character of being free and independent and doing what you will when you will. That is not the type of character that goes along with being a doctor. It just is not allowed, because the regulatory body for medical doctors in whatever country you're in will tame that character, or sometimes it can be, sometimes when it's well structured, it can be considered a quality. That regulatory body will quickly tame or cut those wings of yours, because you cannot do what you want when you will, as you please, being a doctor. There will be some guidelines that you will have to abide by. There will be some instructions that you have to stick to. There will be lots of don'ts, do's and don'ts. And so if you have a personality that is not able to follow instructions, being a doctor just might not be the right profession for you. that goes very nicely into the next point, which is you will have decreased autonomy as a doctor, just because we live in a world where litigations are real. They're a reality for doctors, and some things can go wrong, and when they do, you won't be able to say, well, I did it because I felt that I wanted to help the patient, which is the reason why most of us say that we want to be doctors, right? We go into medicine because we want to help patients. We want to do the right thing for the patient. You will have decreased autonomy because there will always be a time when what you felt was right for the patient, even though you've gone through your clinical knowledge and you intended to do no harm, but things go wrong, and you will have to answer to why it is that you made this decision as opposed to this decision that has been trialed and tested, and it has been recommended that you go by this way of practice, but you decided to go by that way of practice, and so you're now in trouble, and you will have to explain yourself. And so if you're someone who is just repulsed by the fact that you will have to practice within limitations, within guidelines, again, that it is not the profession for you. If it makes you cringe to know that you will have decreased autonomy, then medicine is not the profession for you. Then, sadly, as we go up the ladder in becoming more and more senior in our profession, whatever specialty you choose to go down the line of, there will be paperwork. It's not just about being doctors and having the stethoscope and, saving lives and running to, do chest compressions and, coming away thinking I've just saved someone's life. It's not like that, unfortunately. You will have to sit down and do paperwork. You will have to go through letters. You will have to dictate some letters. You will have to go through those letters. You will have to go through results. They will, insurance forms. No matter, I firmly believe, no matter what specialty you decide to go in, there will always be time where you have to devote it to admin and paperwork. And so, please, if you are not someone who is keen on doing paperwork, buck up your idea if you want to be a doctor, because you will have to do paperwork, a lot of it, as you become more senior. In fact, you get trained to do paperwork when you first qualify as a doctor, because in the first year or two, as a junior doctor, you're just a glorified secretary of your most senior colleague. So paperwork is part and parcel. Also, do not become a doctor if you do not deal very well with stress. They will be days that are stressful. There will be days where you feel there is an attack on your person. There will be days where there is a personality clash with a colleague, or a colleague that is at the same grade as you, or one of your senior colleagues, or the nursing staff, or the allied health. There will be some days where you don't see eye to eye and you come away with a disagreement from that person. And if you are someone who doesn't deal very well with stress, or hasn't armed yourself with strategies of being able to cope when there is conflict, or you haven't taken the time out to deal with conflict or to learn conflict resolution, being a doctor is probably not a good idea, because it will definitely happen. And if you don't deal with that, if you don't deal well with stress, then it will accrue, it will pile up, it will affect your mental health, and ultimately you will not be the best person to provide care to patients, because you yourself you're not well mentally, you're not looking after your own well-being, because you've not learned how to deal with stress. Finally, I would say, do not be a doctor if you are poor with time management, because your life will then be consumed by being a doctor. You will go to work, you will come home, you will do some more studying that is required for you to continue with your training, and you will then have little or no time for family, friends, and various other things that are an obligation to you as a human being, right? It's not just about being a doctor. You still have to maintain your life as an individual. So if you are poor with time management and you haven't taken the time to get better at it, or you do not consider that that's an area of your life that you need to revisit, my honest opinion is medicine will consume you, and you will come to a point where you will burn out. You will burn out because you have given all of this energy to being a doctor, and everything else in your life has been neglected. And so naturally, when something happens at work, you will crumble. You will crumble because you have not learned how to maintain relationship, which again needs time. You've not learned how to use that time to develop other skills, develop other hobbies. So time management, even before you go into medical school, ideally, but if you're already there, it's something that you need to take time out to consider how to do well. I hope this video has been helpful. I hope you've learned and it's giving you food for thought. Please, if there's anything that I haven't addressed, or you're a doctor yourself, or you're considering going into medical school or any type of medical training, and there's some things that I haven't discussed that I could have discussed, please mention it in a comment section. That way we all have the opportunity to learn. Please take time to subscribe and to like, to share, so that the channel can grow and so that more people can be empowered and educated. Thank you.